So I think that we can all be in agreement when we say drunk Aryan is absolutely the freaking best. I love drunk Aryan so much. Like she gets absolutely nuts and absolutely crazy. I love how she literally, and this is super pun intended. I love how she jumped Arc's bones. I freaking love it so much. She totally attacked him, and the room that they were staying in had scratch marks in it. The bed was destroyed. Like she got absolutely freaking just next level crazy. Then our boy Arc was pretty much stripped down just to the bone. Literally. Like this man is just a pile of bones laying out on the floor. And when Aryan comes to, she's like, skeleton! And she just like freaking fireballs our boy Arc. Like I was losing it during those like 2 minutes that this scene was occurring. Like it was hilarious. From the moment that she was like, don't treat me like a child, to the moment that she wakes up was freaking hilarious. Then when they come to, they come out and they're like, yo, the whole town heard you last night. She's like, I'm gonna kill him. Like it was a hella funny ass episode, and I really enjoyed watching it. This episode was pretty important too, as well, for the future of the elves. We were introduced, or we found and were introduced to another elf that was living among the humans. And this elf specifically was like a researcher. He does a lot of research into habitats and animals and different creatures and stuff. And he was able to ultimately assist Arc and assist Aryan and provide them a map of where they need to go, as well as a basically like a monster guide that he's been reading, that he's been writing, that is conducive of all the research that he's done so far. So that is something that's definitely going to help them on their adventure. It's going to help Arc become more familiar with the world surrounding him, with the monsters that inhabit it, and all of that. So I think it's going to be very important. And the other significance of him is this also showed Aryan a glimpse of what it may look like when humans and when elves can really coexist and live together, when there's no I mean, I don't even know. Like, I guess it's like, I guess it's like, I don't know if you call it racism necessarily, like creatureism, but when there's definitely no like pre-existing hate between these two different people who live in this world. You know, when that kind of goes away, and when people don't have any of these prejudices towards one another, they can just coexist like normal people, and that kind of goes away. And this kind of showed her a glimpse of what that would look like. She also found out about one of the I think emperors or kings, who took a elf as his bride, and that specific nation or or country is trying to work towards bettering lives for elves and removing some of those barriers that they have, and the hate that they have between humans and between elves. And obviously, it's going to be a big uphill battle, but at least somebody out there is starting that fight, which I think is ultimately really important. So this is all really good information for Aryan. It's all really good information for what the lives could ultimately end up looking like and being for elves later on down the line. Once they save all of them, and then once they kind of look towards the future for elves, essentially. I think that was really good. And the thing that they kept pointing back to is like, you have this hate for humans, but yet you're traveling with one. And she was like, well, I don't even know if I really count Arc as a human. And then Ponta's like, oh, I don't know. So I was like, yeah, that's hella funny too. So I really enjoyed all the episode. Then the rest of the episode was really focused around two things, which is the monsters that have been being controlled. We kind of found out who the ringleader of that was. I don't know if they shared the guy's name, but essentially, let me see if I can grab this dude's name. But he was one of the crooks, I guess you could say, that he was on a throne. And one of the guys who works for the emperor went to go and meet him. He seems like to be like a slave trader, but also the person who is handling all the different monsters. They don't say his name, but I think it starts with the F or something. Maybe they do say his name. But they go and they meet him, and he's been essentially the one that has been providing these controlled monsters. The same thing that we came across this episode with the big old worm that Arc took down. He was the one that is in control of all those monsters. He's the one kind of putting those monsters out into the world as well. So we got to see kind of like who our antagonist is going to be, and basically who's going to be the next target for Aryan and for and for Arc specifically, you know, to get rid of all these monsters. And he obviously showed us it's probably gonna be like one of those dogs that has like those 4 or 5 heads, kind of like in Hercules. This guy's name was Fumba, like Timon and Pumbaa, but Fumba. It's a really ugly name. Yo, Fumba. Awful name. But this is what this guy's name is. He's the next villain that we're going to be facing here as we truck towards the last episode or the last arc of this arc with Arc. But overall, really good episode. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I'm going to leave you guys some those thoughts there. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments down below. Of course, as always, make sure you guys hit subscribe. Make sure you guys like. Let me know what you think about Senor Fumba. And let me know what you think about this episode. And do you love Drunk Aryan as much as I do? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, my friends. I'm going to see you guys next week. Peace.